Hi friends, Renee Keys here with Carolina Creative. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here with card making ideas for you. Today is another sneak peek. I'm going to show you a little bit more of the entire suite that is part of the Peaceful Garden. So I've got the stamp set again. I showed this the other day. I've got some of the dies here. I'm going to pull two of these off. I'm going to use the big branch. And I'm going to use the smaller, pretty scalloped, I call this the sentiment label or the label. Now also with this suite comes the gorgeous paper, Peaceful Garden. You can see a whole bunch of different papers here, leaves and berries. There's floral, big bold floral. There are several patterns that have doves that of course go with the birds and the dies. And if I flip this over, you can see some of what's on the back. The more neutral backgrounds, a little more of the flowers, but a smaller print. What else have we got here? Oh, very neutral, gray, kind of a whitewash. So there are the pretty designer papers. Also with this suite, they have a set of glimmer paper. Can you see how shiny, sparkly this is? 3 colors. There's the bright blue. I think this is close to Secret Sea. It's that dark blue-green. And to me, this looks like cloud cover. They're calling it gray, but I think it matches really well with cloud cover. So pretty glimmer paper along with the designer series paper. And then these hues of blue flowers coordinate with this as well. So there's a whole, oh, and there's a ribbon. I didn't even pull the ribbon out. The ribbon has that pretty misty moonlight and a little bit of Secret Sea in it, and it's really, really pretty. But today I'm going to do a card, and I'm going to start by die cutting 2 shapes here. So I'm going to do another die cut for my sentiment on cloud cover. I'm using that for my card base too. And then the pretty leaves, I'm going to die cut those with the glimmer paper. And I'll probably have to run this through twice. If you've ever used the glimmer paper, you know it's a little thicker. And so it can take more than one run through the cutting and embossing machine. So my work area right here, and I'm going to get ready to run this through. Here we go. And like I said, I'm going to do this one twice just to make sure I get that die cut. That's once. And run it back through a second time. And let's see what we've got. Well, that already separated, so perfect. And then I just need to punch it out. Let me move this out of my way and show you what I'm working with here. So I've got a card base out of cloud cover, and I think I'm going to make the card go this way. I now have a core. I cut 2. I already had cut 1. So that'll be for another card. And I picked out a designer paper. I liked the flowers. They're not too over the top. I mean, this could be a masculine card too using this kind of paper. That's too washed out for what I'm doing. And then I'm matting it onto gray granite. So that is actually going to contrast with my cloud cover. But to really set it apart, I'm also adding a strip of my pretty glimmer paper. So you can already see what I'm thinking for my layout here. And then I'm going to have a sentiment. And of course, I need to release this. I'm going to have to treat my dies. They're still pretty new. I actually have forgotten I need to rub my dryer sheet across those because that does help with the release. But there you go. Isn't that pretty? And it shimmers and sparkles. Okay, so the 2 inks that I pulled out are my Misty Moonlight, which is what I think I'm going to use the most of. But maybe on the inside, I will go with my cloud cover, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. So let me stamp. I picked out of this set, I combined Sending Love together on my die, and then I'm going to put Big Hugs for a Good Friend on the inside. So my Sending Love is very simply going to be like this on the top, on the front. And then while I'm stamping and I've got it out, I'm just going to go ahead and keep going with Misty Moonlight. And then my Big Hugs for a Good Friend. I thought this was just a sweet card. Could be get well, could be thinking of you, could be anything. I'm just going to make sure I did re-ink this, so this should be pretty juicy. Okay, Big hugs for a good friend. Now to kind of coordinate with, ooh, that's stamped really nice. To kind of coordinate with that, I went looking for something leafy, and I pulled this out of the celebratory sips. I think it's supposed to be like rosemary, but you know what? I think it's gonna work. You know what? I didn't want it to be dark. So let me get that ink off. I wanted to use cloud cover. And of course, if you've been stamping with cloud cover, you know that we kind of have to make our own ink pads. Stampin' Up! Did not release the cloud cover ink because it was not maintaining its color. And if something isn't up to quality, oh, I like that. If it's not up to quality, they're just not going to release it. I like that in both corners. So I did that a little darker, very gently, but this is the cloud cover. So I've kind of mixed all the colors from the front on the inside. I think I'm done with this. So I'm going to put this away. So let me see what I can do about assembly. I'm going to go ahead and grab my dimensionals just in case I decide I want those. So I'm going to start from the inside and go ahead and put my big hugs on the inside and dot my glue on. I'm trying to go with even less glue than what I usually do. I've seen other people get away with 6 little dots. I'm not that brave yet, but I can reduce by a little bit what I've been using. Okay, so that's the inside of the card. Now I'm going to mount, or mat my 2 pieces here. So I've got my paper, my pretty paper, going onto the gray granite, and I'm just going to eyeball this and get it square. And then the first thing I'm going to do is put my pretty glimmer paper down and then work from there. And I don't think I want that all the way to the edge. I want to let there be a reveal, basically, of the cloud cover. And I didn't cut the strip 4 1/4, I actually cut it 4. So I will have, and then this, I didn't tell you about my dimensions. I made my designer paper 3 1/2 square, and then the gray granite is 3 1/4 square. So that means it's just a little smaller than my 4-inch here. So it kind of offsets it, and that was what I was thinking, was I was going to make it go over to the side so that they overlap each other. Okay, that's what I'm going to do, just like that. On the fly here. Sometimes I have an idea, and when I start assembling, I change my mind. Don't we all do that? Okay, put that there. And now I've got my sending love, and I'm going to put the pretty sprig going across. Oh, yeah, that really makes it pop, putting it on top of the cloud cover. I'm liking that a lot. What I could do is put a little bit of color on there. Let me grab a sponge dauber. I keep these handy. And just flick the edges. Kind of make it, give it that little bit of antique-y look almost, just a little bit of color. I'm not going real heavy, not going into it real far either, but just adding that second color, which is really going to define the edges. I do like that. All right. Now I'm done with the ink. I had to play with it first. So I was thinking about using dimensionals, but then this is going to be flopping. So I think I'm going to make everything flat. I don't usually do that. Today I think I will. Unless you die cut that on foam and put dimensional behind it, with all those little delicate cutouts, I just think it would be really hard. I mean, I've done it, but it's just challenging. Make sure I've got that straight. So now I'm going to dot the glue kind of toward the tips of these little leaves. And then make sure I get the end. So this may need a bow after all. I may be reconsidering this. I want it on an angle and going across. Oh, pretty shimmer. I do like that a lot. Sending love. Or, how about a few gems? How about some of these hues of blue? I don't think I've used these yet. I don't think I've even opened this yet. Unless it was just, oh, I have used a few. I take that back. I did a session and we used some of these. So to make those show, let's see if I do think I'm going to need my take your pick tool. So here's, oh, it really picks up the gray, and there's a little bit of white and whitewash in there. So yes, I am liking that. And I might only need 2 of these. I don't think I need a lot. Just that little bit of, and it's not really bling either. Let me hold this up to the camera. So it's very subtle. It's almost a matte. This is the bling. These 2 pieces really give it the sparkle and the shimmer. So there's my card for today. I cut a shape. I used a lot of elements out of this new Peaceful Garden suite. The only thing that was not part of the suite was this little, I think, like I said, it's actually rosemary. That little brush, shrub, leaves, whatever you want to call it. It's herbaceous, but it goes with the card. So sending somebody love and hugs for a good friend. So if you like the products and the projects you've seen here today, you can find me at Carolina Creative or hashtag Carolina Creative. I'm also on the Stampin' Up! Network. It's Renee Keese at StampinUp.net. Thanks for joining me today. Stay tuned for the next video.